tax rate. At the end of 2012, our debt on a band or bond anticipation note, which is short-term debt, will be gone. And we'll have the two long-term debts, which we have had, but essentially we'll be on a full, pretty much a full cash basis then.
Well, but when we have our review, again, I think it's be very telling. And I've got to credit this entire board, because, you know, every step of the way, this is a group of fellows who said, okay, we've got to be fiscally responsible. And if you recall, back a few years, I think it was 2006, we had a 27% increase in taxes to get the cash to pay the cash pay-as-you-go. Without that, we couldn't have done what we did. Bill, thank you.
It also helped that you go every 3 months or so you gave us where we stood at that particular inflation. So we can address the issues not till at the end of the year, but as they plus a good job.
Well, the other thing is we have a 5-year budget, and we're one of the few municipalities in the state of New York who looks out 5 years hence. The one thing we've been looking at is tax certiorari, and guess what? It's going to come to roost. I wish it was over a 3 or 4 year period rather than a 1.5 year period, because that's going to be tough for us to accomplish. But we'll do it.
And you know, if you look at it, the thing that we've been struggling with and really beating down is debt that this board never inherited. The road improvement program, you know, we've been paying it off for years, and that was a 1 year, that should have been paid in that year, that bond. You know, so a lot of that stuff, I think once we clear it out, the going will be a lot easier. It's not going to be easy, but
you know, Phil's not going to be here for that presentation. I'm not. You're going to be on the high seas or wherever the airplanes or whatever.
November? When are you going to do it?
November 8th.
Hey, do it the following.
What do you do with Skype?
We've got to do it on the 8th. That's per New York law. We've got to do it.
I'm going to cruise and go easy.
Well, whatever.
All right, whatever.
Bill, thank you very much, and have a safe trip home.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Great job.
Now, Lou was not here tonight. He had the death of an uncle, so he will be back on Thursday. But I'm going to give his discussion the status of Jessup Switch Road project. The contractor has completely ground the road up and shaped the road. Prior to that, the town of Goshen had done a lot of culvert work. So the road, as of today, was all ready to put the new pavement on. And they started that today. And they hope to have that finished within a week. The other thing that occurred on this is we've been working with the county very judiciously, because they didn't know if, we got approved for $187,000, but there was $287,000 we could draw from. And through working with them, we've been allowed to draw all of this, and there may be even some left over we won't use. But we're going to do the entire length of the Jessup Switch Road.
Wow.
So this is stimulus money. The town of Goshen, I think, and I'll have to go back and check the numbers because it's really noteworthy. We got the bulk of the road improvement money. I think there's less than $500,000. Like $350,000 or something, and the town of Goshen, through our project and our application, was able to compete and got the money, the bulk of the money. So kudos to the county for their help, kudos to the people doing the work, and the people who put the thing together.
So it's going all the way from
one end to the other.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Wow, that's great.
So next, not Thursday, but 2 weeks from Thursday, I'll visit. Hey, check out that. In fact, I drove from one end of the road to the other end on the dirt. It was even better than the old. There weren't any holes. This next one I put together to show, it's a recap of current projections and comparisons of annual sewage generated by Arcadia Hills and Hamiltonian Park. I heard or read in the paper or whatever that the village board was saying that they're going to have to increase the rates and potentially increase the rates of the village citizens for their sewer service because the town's not paying their bill. Well, the two things I have, probably. The village believes we owe them the money. The town believes we do not owe them the money. so if we believe we really don't owe the money, then it's fictitious. You know, it is, you're not raising anything because we just owe you money or are not willing to pay it. We don't believe we need to pay it. The other item is that I compared 2008 to 2010. And in Arcadia Hills, if I look at the projections of 2010, we only have 9 months experience so far. But if I project it out, we're going to decrease the amount of inflow and infiltration by 22%, which means all the things that we've been doing since 2008 are beginning to accumulate. And the fact is we're delivering less sewage to the village. And as a consequence, we're using less of their plant, and they will get less revenue as a consequence. This is just good business by doing what we need to do. In fact, that ought to help the village. That ought to help the village with their overall I&I problem. Now, Hamiltonian Park, also I projected for the year end, and we're down 12.2%. 2010 year-end projection versus the actual 2008. So this is a significant number of gallons of fuel, sewage less. You can see I also compared 2009 to 2010 on the next page. And you can look at months by months. And then you can look on the next page, the 2010 by itself. And let me see. So anyway, we have 2008, 2009. So that's what's going on. I was hoping, doggone it, I don't have it in here. We sent out in a mailer to all of the water and sewer districts last week, kind of a status update of everything that's going on in all the water and sewer districts, to include the things that we're doing in regard to I&I and the people's responsibility to invite us into their homes for this inspection of the sump pumps. And that's a pretty telling letter. I mean, when you read the letter and you see what we've accomplished, see what we're working on, it's just a continuum. There's no silver bullets, but it's just a continuum of trying, as Phil would say, eating this elephant one bite at a time. And it's beginning to show now in real dollars. So this is where we're at on that, and hopefully we'll continue as the year progresses. Oh, by the way, I do have a report out on the manhole that last week we hydroblasted it, fixed it up, coated it leaked. You know, so it didn't leak as bad as it was, but it didn't work. And so this 50-year guarantee, we're going to have to look at this.
50 hours.
Right, so we'll keep it up. But and also this week they're out there, they're going to start digging Arcadia Hill and see what the...
Well, it also sounds like a unique storm that we had some, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Well, now the other company's going to do theirs, and we'll see which we can compare.
That was also right next to the stream, wasn't that?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, if it slowed down, I mean, it may not stay dry.
Right.
It might stop
Yeah.
coming in. I mean,
Sure.
unique because we're so close to that stream, so.
Well, maybe we just need to put another coating on it, too.
Well, no, I'm just thinking that maybe it's something the contractor can look into.
Yeah.
And the factors. They cut 10% of leakage, we're still cutting back.
Absolutely.
What we're sending to them.
Okay, Dennis, can you kind of tell us where we're at on the sewer dispute arbitration request?
Everything is submitted to
The
the
court.
court at this time. Judge Slobot has the matter, and my educated guess is she probably render a decision. I would guess in the next 2 weeks to 30 days.
And that decision we had briefs on both sides for doing it?
Yeah, basically what's going on is that we, as the board knows, we requested the arbitration. They rejected that request. We then filed a motion to compel the arbitration, or a judge to order them to arbitration, to appoint the arbitrators, and to stay the litigation in the interim. The village cross-moved to stay